If you are an uptight, petty person who cannot get past another person coughing on a plane, you might want to read this whole book.
Welcome to Proofread, a podcast to help you read more of what you love and less of what you don't.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Proofread. This is Kacy.
I'm Tyler.
And we're here to help you find the right reads. We like to read a book and tell you if it's worth your time. And today we are doing the popular, controversial, it's not that controversial, Let Them theory by Mel Robbins.
It wishes it was controversial.
It wishes it was controversial. But there is some controversy, and I will tell you what the controversy is.
Oh, yes.
So Mel Robbins, Tyler, I don't know if you know her.
She's Tony's daughter.
She's not actually Googled that. Just like she's not related to him, is she? But because she strives to be a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted to be. That's part of her
story. She changed her name to Robbins when she took this career.
So that she could be. We shouldn't. We're going to be libeled. This is libeled. That's not true.
That's not true. I'm sorry. Everything has to be true that we say on this pod? This is news to me.
No. But no, not related to Tony Robbins, but is a motivational speaker and has done other things like she has little things like the 5-second rule, like 5, 3, 2, 1, like get up.
Blast off.
It like helps you do things.
Yeah.
When you are feeling, have some
She's a
inertia
TED talker.
problems. She's a TED talker.
TED Talk.
So she has a few things she's getting in this realm, and then she thinks of speaking and doing TED Talks, and she's in videos on YouTube. And she had an experience where she was with her son at prom, and he hadn't planned anything, and it was driving her crazy because they didn't have a dinner reservation, and it was raining, and she just was going nuts. It was really like bothering her. And finally her daughter, who actually coined the phrase, and I should say later in the book, this is the daughter that Mel Robbins will tell us is the thin one. Her words, not mine. Okay.
That was a bananas moment in this
bananas.
book. It's bananas.
Oh my gosh. This poor girl.
Mel Robbins, and in tiny little letters underneath, Sawyer Robbins.
Her other daughter, Sawyer Robbins.
Yeah.
So at the prom, her daughter says to her mom, like, back off, let them. They're going to get soaking wet. They're not going to have anywhere to eat.
Let them.
They're going to not have a reservation. Let them. And it is like so freeing and so helpful. I mean, her daughter did think of it. But then Mel Robbins is like, she posts about this, and then it's very popular. She makes a video, and it really does resonate with people. And a bunch of them get tattoos that say, let them. So let me read the post, and then we're going to say read or skip on the whole book, okay?
Okay.
This is the post. I actually experienced this post. I saw this post on TikTok.
Oh, you're a Mel Robbins fan.
And I find this helpful.
Okay.
This is the post. If your friends are not inviting you out to brunch this weekend,
let them.
Let them. If your kids do not want to get up and go to that thing with you this week,
let them.
Let them. So much time and energy is wasted on forcing other people to match our expectations. And the truth is, if somebody else, a person you're dating, a business partner, a family member, if they're not showing up how you need them to show up, do not try to force them to change. Let them be themselves because they are revealing who they are to you. Just let them. And then you get to choose what you do next. That was very powerful and resonated for people. And so then she decided to write a whole book about it. Okay, Tyler, read or skip? 1, 2, 3, skip. Okay. Do you want to tell me, if you want to skip it, let them?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you want to tell me why you think this is a skip?
Do you know, it's hard to say why I think this is a skip, because if somebody wants to take a viral, social media post and make a book out of it,
let them.
Let them. No hate from me. End of response.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why this is a skip for me, because the examples are very lightweight and repetitive, mostly a list of Mel Robbins' petty grievances and how she is unable to move past certain things until she embraces this theory. Okay, so if you are...
I'm even before that is the fact that she's calling this a theory, like the let them theory. It's like, what's the theory?
Okay.
What's the theory?
So, but we're going to be fair. We're going to give this book its due.
Yeah,
so
let's give it its due.
I'm right there with you. And I do say skip, but if you are an uptight, petty person who cannot get past another person coughing on a plane, you might want to read this whole book.
Yeah,
you might need
that's a good point.
But I want to say that when I saw this on TikTok, I was like, that is really helpful. as a parent of adult children, this idea, like,
I
you
can't
gotta
control
just
what everyone
let
wants
them.
to do. Yeah.
And as someone who I have had anxiety and overthinking, a lot of times I would like think things at night and like worry that people were mad at me or that they took it the wrong way, and to just think, let them.
Yeah.
All right. And I actually wrote in the margin of my book, this won't matter to you if you already don't care what people think, as I assume Tyler does not.
I care sometimes.
Well, here's a tool.
But I am not nearly as tightly wound as this author.
Oh, yeah, no, and me neither. And another thing is, my husband is someone that used to help me like go through this overthinking and be like, they're probably not mad at you. They probably didn't take it that way. And then I finally was just like, don't you ever worry that anyone's ever mad at you? He's like, no. And this advice is as good, if not better, than let them. He said, I just always assume people think the best thing about me. And if I'm right, that's great. And if I'm wrong, I never know.
I think that is
that
really resonates with kind of my approach.
I figured, and I was like, that's really helpful. And that's just becoming an older person and also taking Lexapro.
Sure.
has really helped me as much as the let them theory. But I'm not a medical provider. I will just say that right now. I don't offer medical advice. But the post itself, just this idea, it is a little thing to snap you out of overthinking.
Sure.
It is a little shortcut.
Yeah, just to sit there and go, wait, why am I worried about whether they're coming?
Let them. Who cares? They think I'm dumb. Let them.
If they are going to get wet in their prom clothes, that's going to be a memory for them. What's the problem?
What's the worst thing? Another thing that is valuable about this book, I've had some students who've read it and they've told me that it's really helpful for them. That's great.
Yep.
If this is helpful to you, that's wonderful.
And I don't think the point of this podcast is to say whether a book is like objectively good or bad.
Right,
We're just trying to get you a sense of so many reads out there. Oh, I've seen this one on the list. Should I read it? And this is kind of what we're going over. If you feel like you're having a hard time with everybody making decisions around you that you don't like, or that you find yourself really emotionally frustrated, then this can be a way to kind of like spend some time with Mel Robbins here, going through thinking about all of the ways that you might let people live their lives and then you live yours. And that's the second part of this theory, right? Where she says there's the let them and let me. Let them get wet on prom night in the rain because they didn't plan ahead and they're going to have to eat on the patio instead of in the restaurant. Let them do that, right? Yeah. Let me try to help my child think about an activity in advance by some reminders or something, right? Right. Or let me choose to do, like, what are the things that you can do here without trying to control someone else?
Exactly. But I will still stand by, even if you struggle with that, you probably still don't need to read this whole book.
Yeah, I gotta be real.
Because what happens is it's very repetitive, and then it goes off onto just kind of shoehorning, let them into all other kinds of situations just to make it long enough. And so I don't really think it's worth it in that way.
It almost sounds like one of those talk radio shows. Have you ever heard, like, I was working construction one summer and this guy I was working with like listened to a lot of talk radio. And I was like, man, these guys are saying the same thing for an hour. And then I realized, I'm like, they have like 4-hour shows. Of course they're saying the same thing. There's not that much happening in the news to say.
There's not that much
but it's
content.
kind of like that where it's just like she spins around this thing. And then I just literally on page 32, she's like, okay, let's begin. And I'm like, what have we been doing?
What have we been doing this whole time?
Just like going on it. I think the other thing that gets me on like why this book is tough is that the way that this person writes, and perhaps this is the motivational speaker like genre, but she uses a lot of like you language. You've been doing this or you've been doing this. So an example is here. For too long, you've been working against the fundamental law of human nature. You've been fighting to change people, battling to control situations, worrying about what people say, think, or do. And in doing so, you've created unnecessary stress, tension, and friction for yourself and in your relationships. I did too. It's hard for me to read this and be like, no, I haven't been doing that. And I think on that level, it is like a question of audience.
Right.
Like this book needs a specific audience where if you identified with the things right there, this may be like a helpful thing for you. But again, not the book itself.
She talks about how to get or how to let it be if you have a partner that like needs to lose weight. I mean, there's a lot about losing weight. And that's okay, all right. And younger kids, she also has the caveat that like this doesn't really apply. You know, you have to actually care for and guide and give rules to younger kids. Yes. It doesn't really apply to that. She has all these little things.
If your 4-year-old wants to eat sugar all day and stay up till 3 in the morning, let them.
It doesn't
she's
really
not saying that.
work for that. And so she has all these caveats about it. Another thing that she does to give heft to the book is to add other spiritual and psychological practices and traditions that have let them elements to them, which I would argue are better, and you should just
Find the books those dudes wrote.
One of the books that I thought was very useful for me along this kind of mindfulness, it's a little bit more meditative, but it's basically let them, but it's better and worth reading the whole thing. And so I'm going to tell you, it's called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It's a whole book that is worth reading.
Oh, cool.
That is abbreviated partially by let them.
Well, and I think that maybe this is like my critique of this genre in general, which is that the idea is I'm not really a researcher. I'm not a scientist. Like I'm not a social scientist, or I'm not a psychologist, but I'm kind of like good at words and grabbing, and motivating you. So I'm going to grab a lot of this and try to package it in a way for you. And I think that there's obviously, if this is a bestseller, a place for that, an audience for that. But there's a shallowness to it that she's bringing up here that for me, I'm like, okay.
It's not shallow if it's just a post. It's probably not shallow because some of what a motivational speaker is going to do is going to get you hyped up. But it's shallow as a whole book.
Like I could imagine that this is a TED Talk. TED Talks are like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I bet she'd get you really hyped up and ready to go.
I bet this would be a great TED Talk, right? But the idea of like, now I'm going to package this and make money by putting this into a full book. And then the last third of this book kind of goes,
I actually
think
it's bad advice. Anyway, it does go off a little bit, and I actually do not like the last third at all. I think it's not about let them. And anyway, now to the controversy, which you probably don't know, is that because
we're getting quiet now because it's a controversy. I'm not on the talk.
But you see this, and I'm like, yeah, let them. I had students want to read. Okay, love that. That's a great little thing. Let them.
Let them. If my students want to not do any of their assignments, let them.
Well, that's true. It is their grade. They're responsible for their grade
and career.
But then there were all these people, but are equally clickbaity, just trying to get attention.
Controversies aren't real. Internet controversies aren't real.
Saying, I disagree with Mel Robbins. Don't let them. Don't let your family walk all over you. Don't let blah, 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 blah. Like that they're like.
But they don't know about the let me part.
They're intentionally simplifying something that's already very simple and misunderstanding it, so then they can do their little talk about Mel Robbins is wrong, don't let them. And so there was a little bit of a backlash, which is, I mean, I do like to know tea. Yeah. You like to know tea, but it's...
As long as it's not a hot liquid in my mug that I don't like to drink from.
Right. That's the controversy. And I think that's probably, those kind of critiques are probably a little bit unfair, and probably part of what she's responding to in this big, long book where she emphasizes the let me, which is where you're talking about let them, but then I do my own thing and blah, blah, blah.
This is a book that has a nice idea.
It has a nice idea.
Is your life will probably be easier, perhaps even more richer, if you realize the things you can control and the things you can't control. And if you have a hard time doing that, then adopting a little mantra like let them. I'm going to let them do that thing, and I'm not going to be upset that they're going to take this route to the grocery store, even though this is just that these are the small things. And it really is about, most of these examples are like petty, right? Like small things. And if you let them do those small things, your life will be easier. And that is a clear takeaway. But the experience of like hanging out with Mel Robbins in this book is not pleasant for me.
I don't think it's pleasant too. It didn't make me like her.
Right.
It didn't make me like her.
I was just teaching my students this, like there's Thomas Newkirk talks about, he's a old writing professor, and he says like, one of the reasons we come to nonfiction and enjoy nonfiction is we like being in the presence of the author or the authorial voice that they create. I did not like being in the presence of this author. She's very intense, and intensity is okay. I like intense people, but in intense and kind of a way that was not endearing.
I actually actively disagree with some of the last third. We should just say it. Don't read this book.
Let people live their lives and don't read this book.
Now, what shelf are you going to put this on?
Okay, so we've joked in the past, could have been an article. I'm going to say this could have been a TikTok post.
And it was. And I'm going to say it should have been a tattoo. Should have just been a tattoo.
Just been a tattoo. Leave it at that. Mel Robbins,
you've been proofread. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Proofread is a production of BYU Radio and is produced by Jeff Simpson with help from Erica Price, Becca Hurley, and Lisa Valentine Clark. Find us on YouTube at Proofread Podcast for video clips and more. And please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for spending your time with us today, and happy reading.